YouTube. I just wanted to make this video. As some of you may know, I have a website. It's called Under the Spell NPD and Codependency.com. I just put up a new blog post. It's kind of long. It's like more like an article. So I just wanted to kind of go over it here on this video. It's called 10 Verifiable Discoveries that produce a very different historical narrative than the one we have been taught. Basically, it's just 10 things that kind of point to the fact that the historical narrative that we are being told, that we are being taught, that we are being indoctrinated into is not accurate at all. And these are 10 things. There's more than 10 things, but I just wanted to make a list to kind of point out, these are some things that kind of say that history as we know it is not the way that it's being presented to us. So I'll start with number one is the Sumerians. Confirmation of ancient and Sumerian Anunnaki myths. Basically, the Sumerian tablets talk a lot about the Anunnaki and what they were doing here on Earth. And one of the main things they were doing here on Earth was mining for gold. That's why we were, that's what our job was to mine gold for them. And this is all in the Sumerian tablets. I'm not making any of this up. But the evidence for that, some of you may have heard of Michael Tellinger. He's a researcher in South Africa. And he has found literally thousands, maybe even millions of ancient gold mines in South Africa, in southern Africa. Ancient meaning more than 200,000 or 300,000 years old. These are gold mines that you can go and see. There's a lot of them. And there's also these weird stone circles. He's just really into all of this stuff. He does several lectures on it. And I've in the article, I've included links, or a link at least to one of his lectures, but you can look up more. And this is basically concrete evidence of what the Sumerian tablets are talking about. In the Sumerian tablets, it clearly states that they were here to mine gold. And it states that Enki and Lil's brother went down to South Africa and to mine gold, and he had a house there, and and lo and behold, here are some ancient gold mines that, according to the historical narrative we are told, South Africa was a very sparsely populated place, not a lot of people. Well, there's evidence to show that there was millions of people in South Africa and they were mining gold. So there's that. Number two is giant footprints in stone. There is evidence. There is giant footprints, like human-looking footprints, but giant, like huge, all over the world. Africa, China, Syria, Indonesia, India. Those are just a couple of places. Those are just a few examples of places where people have found these huge footprints in stone, in granite in some cases. You just can't explain it. Like those aren't fakes. You can't fake an ancient footprint in stone, in granite. You can't. So where are those from? Explain that. Okay, next one is giant human-looking skeletons. Skeletons have been found that are huge, and I mean huge. I'm talking upwards of 7 or 8 feet tall, all the way up to 30, what is it? 30 meters. That's just incredible. And this is evidence. This is physical evidence that you can look at. Mind you, some institutions like the Smithsonian, and I'm not sure if they have actually destroyed them, but there's a huge cover-up where evidence has been hidden, destroyed, discredited, but they do exist, and researchers are looking into it. Hugh Newman and Jim Vieira are two that are really looking into this, and they're respectable researchers. So again, links are on my website. Okay, a lot of people don't even know who George Merkel is. I didn't know who he was until I started researching this. This guy's a genius. He's a nuclear physicist with over 400 patents to his name. He basically cracked an ancient Sumerian code, and he figured out the elixir of life, the recipe to the elixir of life. This is amazing. Why don't we know about this stuff? Like, I just don't get it. Like, this is amazing, an amazing discovery. Basically, his findings, his research, you know, the things that he has discovered are just amazing, out of this world, and nobody knows about him. I mean, it kind of reminds me of Nikola Tesla. Was so brilliant, found, discovered, you know, had all these awesome inventions that we don't even know about, and you know, we don't even use a lot of his stuff that he invented because, you know, just because powers of be want to make money. Number 5, elongated skulls. Brian Forrester is like the top guy on this, researcher on this. He's stationed in Peru, in Paracas, Peru, and there's a lot of elongated skulls in Peru, but there's elongated skulls all over. They've been found all over the world. And are they human? No, they're not. What are they? I don't know. Why aren't they in the evolutionary tree? Like, all of this stuff exists, and it just blows my mind that, you know, we are fed this historical narrative that leaves a lot of stuff out. Does not mention giants or anything else that's not human. And I mean, it's just, there's just so much. Okay, number 6. An ancient antediluvian builder race civilization has been discovered in Antarctica, according to Corey Good. He's a whistleblower who was in the 20 and Back program. I mean, this is all stuff that's way out there, but I suggest just look into it. Just look into it. Just listen to what Corey Good has to say. Just do some research. Listen to what other whistleblowers who say pretty much the same thing. See what they have to say. I mean, it won't hurt. But apparently, this ancient antediluvian builder race that has been discovered in Antarctica is about 500,000 years old. They have elongated skulls, and they're giants. I mean, you can't make this stuff up. And of course, they're not. They're kind of sitting on this discovery right now. There's researchers down there and archaeologists, like, you know, excavating and doing research into this, but they're sitting on this information. They're not telling us about it now. According to Corey Good, he says that there's plans to disseminate this information to us. But again, it's going to be disseminated through a filter. So here we go again with, we're not going to get the full story. We're not going to get the full truth. Okay, number 7 is kind of controversial, and it's not really a discovery so much as it is just I guess it is a discovery. I mean, I'm not sure. The faked moon landing. I don't know if we've been to the moon. I don't think we've been to the moon the way that they say that we have. I think there's a lot more to it than what they say. I am pretty certain that the footage was faked. I'm pretty sure that Stanley Kubrick filmed that. I could be wrong, but I mean, do your own research. But interestingly enough, in 2015, Buzz Aldrin gave an interview where he basically said that we didn't go to the moon. And there's other evidence to suggest that we didn't, at least not the way that they tried to say that we did. I'm pretty sure we've been out to space and deep space and all of that. I mean, according to whistleblowers, we have. But I think the moon landing was more of a propaganda because it was during the Cold War and we wanted to show our power. So I think the moon landing itself, there's something fishy about that. So again, this is history that we're being told. We're told that we went to the moon and you know, it would happen a certain way. I have my doubts. Okay, number 8, underground government alien bases. Yes, they do exist. Robert Sapir has done a lot of research into this because he's fascinated with the Nazis, and they towards the end of World War II, there's evidence to suggest that they went to Antarctica, that they built flying saucers. Oh, my light went out. Dang it. Okay. That they built flying saucers, and that they have underground bases there in Antarctica, and not just the Nazis. We are there too. The United States is there, Russia's there, China's there. All of these, Sweden, all of these countries, all these world powers are there, and they know about this ancient Antarctic race, this antediluvian race, and I mean, they're just sitting on all this information. This is, you know, it just gets me. I just don't get it. But there are secret underground bases there. Again, Corey Good is the good source for that. He's a whistleblower, but there's others that say the same thing, and there's evidence going back all the way to the 40s that talk about this. But again, this is stuff that is ignored, or you know, it's debunked. It's ridiculous. Okay, number 9, the true age of the Sphinx. It is not 5,000 years old. The pyramids are not 5,000 years old. That's ridiculous if you believe that. Robert Schoch, he's an American associate professor of natural sciences at the College of General Studies in Boston University. I mean, he's an expert, and he's not the only one, but he's one expert who has gone to Giza, to the Sphinx, and tested the water erosion on the soil. And his conservative estimate of the age of the Sphinx is 30,000 years old. That's the conservative estimate. He thinks it might be up to 80,000 years old, and there's other estimates that are even older than that. But this timeline that we have where the Egyptians built the Sphinx and the pyramids 5,000 years ago is completely false. It's not true at all. Okay, the last thing, something that is never talked about. We don't ever learn about this in school, in science, in any. I mean, this is like science fiction almost, except that it's real, is the Rh negative bloodline. And again, Robert Sapir is my go-to guy on this because he's done a lot of research on it and he's got a lot of good stuff out on this. But the Rh negative bloodline, supposedly if we all originated from one species, from one origin, we should all be able to, our blood should be compatible, but it's not. So again, why isn't this explained through the theory of evolution? Why isn't it even mentioned? It's not even touched upon. So anyways, if you guys are interested in reading this blog post or article, just check it out on my website. I'll leave a link in the description below. And again, what does this mean about our historical narrative? Well, it means that we're not being told the truth. That's what it means. It means we're being lied to. A lot of evidence, a lot of information is being left out. And it's on purpose because they want to control the narrative. And that's how you control the narrative. You lie. You lie to people. So thanks to all my subscribers for watching. And I'll keep posting videos. I'm still doing research. And I'm going to be putting out a lot more videos because there's a lot of amazing stuff that I've learned about that I've just blowing my mind.